Hey guys, it's Cece, and today I'm here to talk about all of my favorite things from the month of October. I have some movies to talk about, some videos, some clothing, and some other random stuff, and let's just jump into it. I want to talk about my favorite stuff. Why don't we start out talking about movies? I want to talk about Kingsman: The Golden Circle. Now, technically, I saw this back in September, but it was right at the tail end of September, so for some reason, I forgot to include it in last month's favorites, and I want to talk about it now. Kingsman: The Secret Service was a movie I had so much fun watching. I really loved it, and I didn't know how they were going to do a second one that was going to achieve what the first one did, but I have to say I was a huge fan of the second movie. I think it's just as campy and ridiculous as the first one, while also being a ton of fun. Yes, it does remain lacking in its female characters, but I have loved spy movies since I was a kid. I have always had fun watching them, so this is just such a fun update on that genre. Plus, I loved the people that were in this movie. I love Channing Tatum, I love Jeff Bridges, Elton John was in it playing himself. This was just a ton of fun as a movie. If you liked the first one, I think you'll like the second one. If you didn't like the first one, you won't like the second one. Pretty sure that's how it all balances out, but since I loved The Secret Service, I really enjoyed The Golden Circle. The next movie I want to talk about is a rewatch, and that is The Craft. I rewatched The Craft at the end of October, and I am so glad I did. I talked about this movie in my favorite witchy stuff video, because I do love witchy stuff, and I was a little bit worried that since a few years had gone by since I originally watched The Craft, I wasn't going to enjoy it as much on a rewatch, but all my fears were put to rest. This movie is so 90s, and I love it for that. It's got all my favorite things a witch narrative should have. It's creepy, it's just fantastic, and I'm so glad that I rewatched it last month. Why don't we move into talking about YouTube now, and I want to talk about a channel I discovered last month, and that is William Osmond. I started watching this channel with my friends every time I went over to their house, and it is just the right side of ridiculous for me. William is an engineer, but he uses this power to make completely ridiculous things, and I live for it. The reason I found his channel originally is that I really also love the channel Binging with Babish, and so he did a collab with Babish where they were making the jelly shooter from Wallace and Gromit. It was really cool to see a YouTuber I love pair up with William Osmond, and then I just dug down deep into his channel. The ham bust of Vin Diesel is a huge favorite of mine. I loved the episode he did where he made a battle bot out of a pumpkin. In general, this channel is just a ton of fun to watch for its ridiculousness and its antics, and I highly recommend it. I have 3 YouTube videos that I want to talk about, and the first one is a video called An Ode to Broken Spines that Ariel Bissett did. Ariel Bissett, in case you don't know, is a completely lovely booktuber, and this was such a great video. It's spoken word poetry about how it's okay to have broken spines and about how the broken spines of your books tell a story. The poem was beautiful, the sentiment behind it was something I really related to, and the way the whole video was put together was gorgeous as well. I'm not usually one for spoken word poetry or even poetry in general, but this video just spoke to me and I loved it. I also weirdly want to talk about an SNL sketch. I don't do that very often, but I want to, and that is a sketch that was done the week that Ryan Gosling was hosted. It was called Papyrus. I like Saturday Night Live. I watch most of the sketches that they do every week when they're uploaded to YouTube, and every now and then I find a really good one, but this is a great one. I've watched this video upwards of 5 times. I keep trying to tell everybody I know about it. I just think it's hysterical, and I want to shake the hand of whoever thought of this idea. So yeah, easily my favorite SNL sketch in a long while. I highly recommend you check it out. And the final video I have to talk about is a music video, and that is the music video for Feelings by Hayley Kiyoko. You guys probably know at this point that I love me some Hayley Kiyoko. Everything she does is wonderful. I love her so much. Feelings is her newest song. I have been very eagerly anticipating it, and this music video was so worth the wait. The song on its own is great, and I listen to it constantly, but the music video is one long shot of Hayley seeing this girl that she's crushing on and just dancing around and being cute and in love and ladies loving ladies. It's everything. I don't think this is my favorite song or music video that Hayley has ever done. There's always Girls Like Girls and Sleepover that I feel like will top the list to the end of time, but I loved this music video, and that moment when the two of them are being flirty and cute in front of the neon girls, girls, girls sign is just It's so good. My heart is so happy about this music video. Speaking of music, let's move into music. An album that I've been listening to, this is kind of a weird one, is Buffering the Vampire Slayer Season 2. In case you don't know, Buffering the Vampire Slayer is a podcast that I listen to. It's the only podcast I listen to where these two fantastic ladies watch and recap episodes of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So it's Jenny Owen Youngs and Kristen Russo. They are wives. They're married to each other. It's great. Kristen writes for Autostraddle, Jenny is a musician, and they frequently have other guests that are writers for Autostraddle. It's a very queer lady-centric podcast. But my favorite thing about Buffering the Vampire Slayer is that at the end of every episode, they write an original song recapping the episode that they've been discussing. So I'm a little bit behind. Buffering is getting into season 3 now, and I'm almost caught up, but I finished listening to the season 2 episodes in October, and I have been listening to the music on repeat. I've loved Jenny Owen Youngs for a while. She writes really great music, and to have all of that talent focused at writing Buffy music is just the cherry on top of an already wonderful thing. I can't stop listening to these songs. And just a note on music, if you want to listen to some of the songs I have been listening to in 2017, I have a 2017 Spotify playlist. I update it fairly regularly with the songs that I've been listening to the most this year, and you can check that out linked below with everything else I've talked about so far. Okay, let's talk about a TV show. Let's talk about Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I have been watching this show on and off a little bit since May, but I only watched a couple episodes here and there. In October, I watched like 2.5 seasons, and I finally caught up. I watched the most recent episode, which was the 5th Halloween episode. Oh my god. This show just makes me happy, and more I've been discovering that that is the thing I need in my life right now. I need TV shows that are just happy with lovable characters. I think the show is incredibly funny. I think it's one that you have to take some time to get into because the funniness comes from knowing the characters. So the first season I was less sure about, but the more and more you get to know these people, the more you love watching this show. It's an incredibly diverse cast of characters. My fave, okay, so like my faves are Jake and Amy because they're, you know, very central to the show and I love them, but Captain Raymond Holt, I love him so much. He is this super serious police captain who is black and gay and married to a wonderful man named Kevin, and Holt is everything to me. Who am I kidding? They're all everything to me. I think that this show emphasizes really intimate relationships between men. It's full of so many incredible female characters. It is a happy show that is funny without being mean all the time, and I'm so sad that I'm caught up because I want nothing more than to continue to binge this show to the end of time. It's available on Hulu. That is how I watched all of the seasons. Please do so as well. Please, it's so good. I love Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Okay, let's talk clothing. I want to talk about the lovely purple turtleneck that I am wearing. I am so happy. I am also so cozy. Look at this thing. Look how cozy I am. I got this wonderful cozy sweater at a thrift store. It just stuck out to me on the rack. I was like, look at that lilac. I wonder if that's going to be a cozy sweater, and I put it on and I was like, oh, well, this means everything to me. It was only about $6. It is unreasonably cozy and it is absolutely perfect. We are really getting into where it's gonna start being cold here in Utah. It is like 35 degrees today, so I'm very glad that I have this turtleneck to keep me warm. As far as clothing, I also want to talk about this t-shirt that I just wore in my wrap-up in TBR. It is a Raven Cycle t-shirt that says "The trees speak Latin." I love it. It came in the October bookish box, and I didn't do an unboxing for my channel because I actually paid for this month's bookish box myself. I used my own money because it was going to have Raven Cycle stuff and Buffy the Vampire Slayer stuff. And that's all I need. I am in love with this t-shirt. It fits perfectly, and I have wanted some kind of wearable item to commemorate my love of the Raven Cycle, so this was a perfect one. And the last item I want to talk about came in the October Owl Crate, and it is this amazing Harry Potter mug. So this mug features all of the stuff that is in the Forbidden Forest, or just outside of it in the case of Hagrid's hut. I knew that they were going to be sending out a mug, and I was really hoping I was gonna love the mug, and now I love the mug. I drink a lot of warm beverages. I also collect mugs, in case you can't tell, and this is an just a perfect one to add to the collection. I love the art, I love the size and the color, I mean, it says Outcrate exclusive design on the bottom, I even think that's cute. I just love everything about this mug and I am so happy about it. Okay guys, there you go. Those are all of my favorite things from the month of October. I hope you enjoyed hearing me talk a bit more about the things that I loved. Don't forget, everything I've talked about will be linked down in the description below so you can go and check everything out. What were some of your favorite things in the month of October? Let me know down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching and I will see you in another video very soon. Bye!